"Sir, I need you to step away from the flag." The airport manager's voice was brittle, breaking under the pressure of silence. His hand hovered just above the casket, as if touching it might burn him. But the Marine, he didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even blink. One gloved hand remained on the stars and stripes, his spine a straight line carved from granite. Eyes forward, breathing steady. A statue made of flesh and duty. Passengers froze mid-step. Luggage stopped rolling. Conversations died mid-sentence. Gate 42B had become sacred ground. "I said step away," the manager snapped louder this time, frustration leaking through. "You're not authorized to handle the cargo." Cargo, the word dropped like a rock in water. Shallow, disrespectful, wrong. Still, the Marine held his post. A TSA agent stepped in. "Sir, we've got procedures. You're delaying ground operations." The Marine turned his head slowly, his eyes locked on the agent like a scope sight. "There are procedures," he said, voice steady as steel. "And then there's honor." Behind him, the casket was perfect. Not a single ripple in the flag, not one corner out of line. Inside, Corporal Jake Morrison, killed in action. Age 23, no wife, no kids. Just a body in a box waiting to be remembered. But to this Marine, Jake was never just another folded flag. Jake was the kid he trained, the kid he carried through shrapnel and heat and blood after a roadside blast in the hills of Afghanistan. The kid who used to hum "Take Me Home" country roads after every mission. The kid who once whispered, "If I don't make it home, at least make sure I'm not alone." And he wasn't, because his brother was still standing guard, but the airport didn't see a hero. They saw a delay, a disruption, a coffin slowing down baggage handlers and flight boards. "Sir," the manager said again, exasperated now, "this is not a funeral home. You're holding up operations." The Marine didn't raise his voice. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. His silence spoke louder than all their rules. He remembered the lemon pie Jake talked about, the little sister's graduation he missed, the fishing trips he never got to take, the mum who sent letters sprayed with perfume that made the whole tent smell like home. This wasn't a process, this was a goodbye. And then, a small voice broke the standstill. "Mummy, why is he touching the flag?" A little girl, no older than 6. Teddy bear in one hand, innocence in the other. Her mother shushed her, but the Marine looked down. His face softened, just for a second. Then he spoke, quiet, low, reverent. "Because he's making sure someone gets home." The weight of that moment rippled across the terminal like a seismic wave. Security stopped. The manager froze. Every soul in that terminal felt it hit. This wasn't about a policy. This was about sacrifice. The Marine bent slightly over the casket. "This man gave everything," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "This flag, it's not decoration, it's a promise." Then he moved, not because he was allowed to, because duty didn't wait for permission. He began the march, slow, deliberate, every step a pulse, every footfall a prayer. And the terminal, it rose. One by one, people stood. Hats came off, hands covered hearts, mouths closed. A Vietnam vet in a wheelchair rolled forward, saluting through tears. Phones came out, not to capture, but to remember, to show their children what respect looks like. Someone started singing, "Oh say, can you see?" And then others joined, in full voice, in full grief. And in that moment, time cracked open. By the time they reached the family, the Marine's gloves were soaked. His spine felt like it had been welded in fire. His throat burned from holding back everything he couldn't say. But he didn't stop. The mother saw the casket and collapsed. The father's hand shook as he saluted. The sister dropped to her knees, whispering, "You made it, Jake. You made it home." The Marine stood watch until the last tear fell. Only then did he release the flag. He folded it with precision, with reverence, with hands that shook from love, not weakness. He knelt, held it out to the mother. He didn't die alone, he said. He was never forgotten. He was loved. He was honored. And when he stood, something changed. The airport manager, eyes red, hands trembling, stepped forward. I didn't understand," he whispered. The Marine nodded once, Calm, final. Now you do. And then, applause, not the kind you hear at concerts, not loud, not chaotic, but slow, rising, real. A quiet thunder of 1,000 hearts beating in sync for a man who couldn't hear it, but deserved every second of it, because in that moment, in the middle of metal detectors and flight delays and gate announcements, America remembered. If this story left you breathless, tap like, drop a karma below for the fallen, and tell us, where are you watching from?